So, good morning, mow217 student, and welcome to Practicum 3. This video will give you some background information and instructions on what you are supposed to be doing. Please note that Practicum is conducted under test conditions, so you are not allowed to talk to your neighbor or access the internet or ClickUp or any other resources. Right, so what you will be doing in the practicum is you will be dimensioning and adding geometric dimensions and tolerances on the views of two components. So the first component is the base profile stage 1. You can see the isometric view of this component on the left, and the specific views that you will dimension and add geometric dimensions and tolerances to are these four views here, the 3 over here and this section view over here. Okay, now how you will do that is on the OCR form, you will notice that the views are already copied and pasted. They are printed on the OCR form. And I've also identified the view with text below. So please make sure that you rotate the OCR form so that the text at the bottom of the OCR form is readable. So the OCR form number 30 will obviously then be typed from the bottom upwards. Okay, please fill in your student number and the assessment ID for this practicum is shown on the screen here. 2023 MOW217 P03. That's the assessment ID that you will fill in on each and every OCR form. Alright, so getting back to the OCR form, as I said, for that base profile stage 1, we've got 4 views that we need to dimension and add geometric dimensions and tolerances to. So this is the first view. There is section view AA. There's the top view. And lastly, we've got section view BB. Okay, that's the first component. The second component that you will also dimension is the so-called side profile. Okay, and what you see on the PDF on the screen at the moment are the undimensioned views of this component. Okay, so here at the bottom we also have the isometric view. You won't dimension the isometric view, it's just for clarity purposes. The views that you will dimension are these 4 views over here, the top 3 horizontal views that are horizontally placed relative to each other, and in this section view BB. So if you look again at the OCR form, this is now OCR form 31. You will see the 4 views of the side profile. So the front view, and once again, when you dimension the view, please make sure that you place your dimensions such that they are aligned with the text at the bottom. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is the top of the page is on top here, the bottom of the page is where the text is, left of the page is where you fill in the student number and assessment ID, right side of the page is there. You cannot, and it is not allowed, to rotate the OCR form so that the student number and assessment ID is at the top of the page. You cannot do that. Please keep the orientation of the page as shown here on the screen. Okay, so front view, section view BB, the right view, and section view AA. Those are the 8 views that you will dimension as part of this practicum. Now, to understand what are important in terms of specifying dimensions and geometric dimensions and tolerances, I need to show you how these two parts fit together. Alright, and this is shown here on the screen on what you see at the moment. So the base profile is at the bottom, and there are two side profiles identical to each other, and one is placed on the right hand side and one is connected to the left hand side of the base profile. Okay, so I will tell you more about how this connection is designed. Okay, now to understand that, I want to refer you to the Modular Assembly Technology website. Okay, so the profiles that we are using, that's aluminium profile. So if you click on aluminium profile and go to PG30, PG30 being the nominal size of the range of profiles that's available as a 30 millimeter. Okay, so we click on PG30. This is already shown here on the right hand side. So scroll down a little bit, and the one that we are using is this one here. It's a strut profile PG30. It's a 30 by 90, and there you can see the 30 millimeters and the 90 millimeters. This is what the profile looks like, and there you can also see the price, 456 rand and 21 cents per meter. So when we want to order our base profile and side profiles, we will have to supply a drawing of the two components, because the profiles come in lengths of up to 6 meters, and you need to specify the length that you want cut, and you also need to specify, or you can then obviously have the machining, the special machining done on the profile at a supplier of your choice, or you can supply the drawing to Modular Assembly Technology and ask them to do the cutting and machining of the profiles and deliver them ready to use. Alright, so that's up to you how you want to do that, but the fact of the matter is you will need a drawing with dimensions and geometric tolerances on the drawing in order to get the components that you want. Okay, now okay, so let me just zoom in a little bit on how these two profiles are connected to each other. Now I've shown them in this assembly drawing or assembly CAD model in a transparent view, so you can actually see, if I zoom in a little bit, this red insert, it's called a screw connector, and I'll show that screw connector is also available from Modular Assembly Technologies, and that is that screw connector actually clamps the side profile to the base profile, and there are two of them. Okay, that's how it works. So we need to make provision firstly for the Allen key. We need to make provision for the Allen key to tighten those screw connectors, and that's what these holes are for. Okay, you can clearly see that, and obviously on the other side as well. That's the first provision we need to make on the base profile. And then on the side profile, what we need to do is we need to tap M12 thread into the ends of the side profile, such that the screw connector can screw into the tapped thread. Okay, right. What you can also see, I will get back to this connector in a little bit, but what you can also see on this screen is the slot that is cut right through the middle of the side profile. Okay, and that the reason for that slot will become evident a little bit later on in a later practicum. Okay, it is necessary, it is needed for the design of the a mechanical assembly that we're busy with. This is only 2 components of a full mechanical assembly that we will deal with as we progress. So that is what the slot, the slot is definitely necessary, and it will become evident later on. Okay, the other thing that I want to point out is there are 2 reasons why we will add M12 threads on both ends of the side profile. The first is for symmetry. Okay, if you only tap one end of the side profile, then obviously you have to take note during assembly. You have to now make sure that the threaded sides are at the bottom, etc. So if it's symmetrical, if both ends are tapped, it doesn't matter. The guy assembling these mechanical assemblies can just take a side profile, place it upright, and screw in the screw connectors without worrying, is it now the right side up? That's the one reason. The other reason is we will, in actual fact, we need the M12 threads at the top as well for another component that gets screwed or attached to the top of the side profiles. But that detail we'll also discuss in a later practicum. Okay, so now having said that, I just want to show you then on the modular assembly technology website. So if you go here to connecting elements, and here right at the bottom the screw connector, and it's this one over here, the screw connector 8. It's got an M12 thread, and there you can see the dimensions of the screw connector. Alright, and the price as well. Okay. I just quickly want to go back to the aluminium profile to show you something else. So if you click on the specific profile, here we go. Now you can clearly see that these center holes are suitable to accept an M12 thread. You can thread M12. That's why the M12 is indicated here in brackets. And these small holes here at the corner, the nominal size is 4.5 millimeters, and so you can tap those holes to M6 to accept an M6 thread. The nominal size of the 3 center holes is 10 millimeters. So you can tap those holes to accept M12 threads. Right. So yeah, that is basically it. This assembly shows you now in its assembled condition. There you can clearly see the screw connector. The tapped hole is indicated, and you can also understand how by fastening the screw connector with an Allen key through this hole, hopefully you can see and appreciate the fact that the screw connector will then clamp onto this flange and pull this side profile tight onto the base profile. Alright, so with that said, yes, please just take care, don't erase the green ink from the OCR form. So just make sure you fill in correctly. If there's anything funny on your printed OCR form, just ask the invigilator for a new form. Alright, so thank you very much. With that, all the best, and please do enjoy Practicum 3.